How's it going today, guys? Coach Jerry with Biohacking Truth, where we deliver health, freedom, and unleash human potential. So whether your issue is obesity, lethargy, lack of fulfillment in life, or pain in the body, we source it at the root cause and we reverse that so that you can carry on with your life and live it exactly the way you want to. So as you can imagine, the last couple years has really painted a big wide stroke on the health of our nation. And sitting back doing what I do and watching so many people completely reverse their condition in short order, and watching what pharmaceutical industry is doing to our nation and purporting as solutions has really gotten me disgusted. So I'm to the point now where it's like, I'm done picking on it, I'm done talking about it. So I'm just going to spread the truth, and that's what I'm here to do. So I'm going to share some perspective with you today on the actual condition of the actual state of our condition as far as our health is concerned in the United States. And this should be alarming to you. This should be alarming to you. And, one bit of advice that I would give to anybody that sticks around to watch this whole video is, one, thank you. And two, really take a look at your own personal situation. Given these statistics I'm about to show you, ask yourself, what trajectory am I on, right? Am I on the trajectory to meet the fate of these people that are part of this data, or am I one of the outliers? Am I one of the 30% that isn't going to succumb to one of these horrible conditions, these horrible demises? Stick around to the end of the video. I've got something for you in case you do have a situation where you're not really sure where to go with this. You're not really comfortable with your current personal risk level. I've got some stuff for you that might help. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll share that with you. All right, here we go. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. So the first one we're going to talk about is diabetes. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know somebody with diabetes. Maybe you have it yourself. And if you have, you've probably been given a really negative prognosis, like you're going to be on insulin the rest of your life. And, this channel is not about giving medical advice. I'm just sharing my opinion, my observation, and my experience. But it has been my experience that even if you've had diabetes for a long time, one gentleman had it for over 10 years and he completely reversed it within a year. So those are facts. I'm not saying that's what happens with everybody, but those are facts. So as you can see here, diabetes. So I'm not sure if you're aware of how common diabetes is, but 1 in 10 adults, the U.S. population has diabetes. And if you throw in pre-diabetes, which in my mind, like if you've got the start of diabetes, you've got diabetes. So the prevalence of pre-diabetes in the U.S., 1 in 3 Americans have pre-diabetes. So the good thing about the CDC is there isn't a whole lot good about them, but the good thing about the CDC is they do throw in stuff about managing your conditions through a healthy lifestyle. So if you can see here, it talks about working with a trained coach. It talks about discovering how to eat healthy and add more physical activity, learning how to manage stress, stay motivated, and the like. The issue really gets conflated when it goes to the application of the process, meaning your doctor, by the time your doctor goes to giving you advice or giving you a protocol to manage this condition, and notice I say manage, right? Not reverse, not heal, or prevent, they go right to drugs. So metformin is a very common one, that they use to help you manage your glucose levels. But really that's kind of like a slow slide down the hill because although they might give you advice on how to manage your lifestyle, it's usually very shoddy advice at best, very minimal, and there's no coaching involved with it. So we all know what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. And if you end up with diabetes, it's because you just ignored that personal truth. And that's the fact of the matter. And just by having a doctor tell you that you need to make a change generally isn't good enough. So you got 10% on top of 33%. So it's like you've got 43% of the country with diabetes some way, shape, or form, whether it be pre or full-blown diabetes. Heart disease. So this is one that people really don't really have a firm grasp on the risk level. So a lot of people have heart disease in the family. They've got uncles, aunts, relatives that have that have heart disease or have succumbed to heart disease. But this is really how big of a deal it is. So you got heart disease as the leading cause of death and major cause of disability in the United States. 600,000 Americans die annually of heart disease. That's 25% of the deaths annually in the U.S. 1 in 4. Now think about that. Next time you're in a group, take a look around at the group, divide it by 4, and that's how many of those people are going to statistically die of heart disease. So when I talk about taking a look at your personal situation, getting really honest with yourself, you've got to ask yourself, 25% of the deaths are caused from heart disease, right? And 43% of Americans have some form of diabetes. And then we go to obesity. So let's take a look at obesity prevalence. The U.S. obesity prevalence in 2017, 2018 was 42.4%. And then from 99, 2000 through 2017, 2018, the prevalence rose from 30.5% to 42.4%. We are just not freaking learning. We are not getting the lesson, you guys. Just take a look at what happened the last 2 years with COVID. It was very obvious early on that this was something that was really affecting the people that were at risk, mainly the obese and the elderly. The data on that, is north of 70% of hospitalizations, and somewhere around 80% of deaths occurred in people with with obesity. And so you've really got to take a look at this, guys. This all ties in, right? So like we get on track to obesity. When we get obese, like that's just an insulin management problem. Like, excess weight is caused by eating excess food. Yes, but what's the actual mechanism that causes that, right? So if everybody eats the same amount of calories every single day, you're going to have different people put on different amounts of weight. Some people might not gain any weight at all. But what is that? It's your insulin management. Insulin causes you to store fat. All right. So we get obese because we eat like shit. We don't eat real food. We don't manage ourselves in a holistic level. We don't take care of our mental state. We don't take care of our spiritual state. We don't take the time to be present and to sleep and to introspect and to meditate. And we don't take the time to move. We don't take the time to source really good food and fuel our body, dose our body with really good food. All right. So we feed ourselves non-food, and then we get this glucose regulation problem, results in insulin sensitivity, and then your body can't help but put weight on. So we start putting on weight, we become obese, and then we develop diabetes, right? We live with diabetes long enough, and then we get heart disease. And that's how 25% of us die from this stuff. Okay. We like to talk about them as separate issues, but these are all like the same family of issues, guys, all the same family of issues. And consequently, who's the most at risk from this latest pandemic, this virus called COVID? It's the people in this situation right here. So I'm going to give you like a real life example of just how out of touch we are in the American medical industry. And this would be a good time for me to really assert that this model of how we deal with our health is not working. This system of feeling symptoms, putting them off until they get really bad. Then we go see the doctor, and the doctor gives us drugs. Those drugs have side effects, and you just kind of further the slide. You never reverse the root cause, right? You're just kind of trying to delay the inevitable. And that's our model. That's what we do until you need surgery or more drugs or to be hospitalized. And that's what we do. Nothing in the American medical system really is geared towards sourcing what the root cause is and reversing it. Now, the thing is if you can root cause your obesity, right, which 9 times out of 10, like it just it's not about necessarily food choices. It's about how our body is processing the food we're choosing, right? I mean, food choices obviously is the first factor in it, but like the actual physiological mechanism that causes obesity is just glucose regulation is not there. Insulin sensitivity isn't where it should be, and our body just stores fat. So a real life example here, right, is something I'm going to share with you here with our health appraisal questionnaire. Okay. And I'm sorry, I digressed a little bit there, but where I was going with that was this typical model that we have is just not working. And, we have to realize that the American medical industry is a business. Pharmaceuticals are a business. Insurance companies are a business. All right. They are a business. And if you think about any business, they need customers, they need leads. And if you were to go around and go see your doctor, and your doctor had access to a really good coach, and that coach could, for relatively inexpensive, get your root cause sourced and reversed. Um, when you reverse something like obesity, you're going to take away the insulin sensitivity issue. You're going to take away the glucose regulation issue. You're going to lose weight, which is going to make all your other markers much better. Your endocrine system is going to function better. Your visceral system is going to function better. So this allopathic approach of this for that, this drug for that ailment, this drug for that ailment, this drug for that ailment, it's not working. It's not working. So the holistic model, the integrated model of healing and getting healthy, that's really where it's at. I've seen it over and over again. Okay. So if you were to go to a doctor, they would give you something for your obesity, right? They would probably address your pre-diabetic condition as opposed to your obesity, probably give you metformin, something like that. That's going to delay the inevitable. You're going to continue to have the choices and behaviors and lifestyle that they currently got you there. Now you're just on a drug. And then you're going to continue to gain weight. You're going to continue to gain weight until your insulin sensitivity gets to the point where you are full blown type 2 diabetes, right? And then you live with that for a while. And then all the side effects of the drugs that you're taking, all the food and lifestyle choices are still there. You develop heart disease, and then it's only a matter of time at that point. But I want to give you a real life example of how to touch our American medical system is. Right. So this questionnaire was this is my health appraisal questionnaire. So if you see there's several, and shout out to PT Enhance, which is the software company that hosts this for me, and also the Czech Institute, which is where I'm licensed, that came up with this assessment process. But if you take a look at our health appraisal questionnaire here, there's all sorts of information for us, and it gives us a really good idea of what your overall physiological load is in your body through these various systems in the body. So this right here, as you can see, so we've got green, yellow, red, right? Green means they're good to go. Red means we've got to figure out what's going on there. And so if you'll notice here, this particular person is in the red zone here. Not terribly red, but we can't just prescribe this person any exercise program. We can't just let them just run wild and go as hard as they want to, like in the gym, right? Because physiological load summates extra gym time is going to add to that. So we need to get this person in the green before we can load them up with intense exercise, which is what we did. But if you take a look at all these areas where this particular person is in the red, okay, so you've got, obviously there's some major digestive issues here, gastrointestinal, inflammation, colon, all that stuff. And just looking at this right now, boom, I'm saying this person's eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of non-foods, and there's more than likely a food intolerance here. Blow that word. Hepatobiliary function. Hepatobiliary function. Nah, try that one. All right. This one's a little bit in the red. We got liver, gallbladder here. So, liver, gallbladder area, you got the pancreas around there as well. And then you see the glucose regulation is a little bit, it's creeping up on the red here. So with this low red and this high yellow, I'm saying there's something going on here. We got to take a look at how the pancreas is doing. Like, is your glucose regulation there? My guess is probably not. Are you detoxing well? Probably not. I'm seeing this high adrenal demand here, like kidney area. So this tells me like a whole bunch, right? There's probably some issues with glucose regulation, like I said, insulin management, and the kidneys are suffering because we're probably just getting cortisol dumps all the time. So the relationship between insulin and cortisol, like if you don't get it regulated, there's just this constant like dump of both, not at the same time, but there's this constant dump. So these tell us a whole bunch here, right? And then, to no surprise, you've got the heart marker, circulation marker, suffering because of it, and all that going on. It's no surprise that this person has some issues with depression. Okay. Immune system, again, this ties in with what I saw up here. All right. So where did I go? Sorry. So immune system, this we've got eyes, ears, nose, throat, and lungs. So a lot of phlegm going on, chronic sinus infections, pre-asthmatic, that type of thing, and all this ties into what we see up here, right? Excess inflammation, dysregulated endocrine and visceral systems. And musculoskeletal, so this person obviously with that much inflammation going on in the body, cortisol dumps, cortisol insulin exchange going on quite often. Obviously, this person's fascia is inflamed, or I'm sorry, their body is inflamed and their fascia is tightening up on them, and so they're experiencing aches and pains in their muscles and joints and tightness in the body. So, and fascia is controlled by the central nervous system. Look what we got going on here. Okay. And then with all that going on, you got hormone dysregulation. That's your visceral, your endocrine system not functioning properly. And if you take a look at this particular example, you've got the female um, uh, hormonal balance basically totally off, totally off. So all this is totally expected after all this up here. So why am I taking the time to show this to you? Because this person actually, when they came and saw me, when we were going to actually review this questionnaire and go over it and come up with a plan of action, this person showed up and was really, really upset. And the reason being, they just left a doctor's office and got their checkup because they wanted to do the Pepsi challenge, right? They wanted to have the doctor's checkup and get the labs and all that jazz, and then come see what the health coach had to say. And you wouldn't believe, but this person was told that they were just fine and that they are healthier than 95% of the population. So think about that. Think about that. This person's miserable. And this is how we get to where we're at. This is how we just accept the style of aging that we've adopted in the United States, which is just like starting the decay in our 20s and just like slowly withering away until you can't do anything. And this is what this person is experiencing. So if this was a typical person that didn't think to look for alternative sources, they might have just gotten to the point where, okay, the doctor says this is just normal. I'm healthy. I've only on a couple prescriptions. I don't feel like I used to, but that's part of getting older. No, but instead, what happens is we're able to dial this in. This particular case was a food intolerance, food allergies, on top of eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of boxed foods, and not doing what they know to be wise. So a combination of all that, and we get apathetic if what we're doing isn't working. And this particular individual has gotten to that point. They were just kind of apathetic, didn't really eat consciously, didn't really live consciously. So in a matter of just reversing their diet and getting them down to eating a species-specific diet, and the species is human. So feeding this person human food, like stuff that grows out of the ground, stuff that eats stuff that grows out of the ground, flies, swims, and runs. That's the kind of food that this person started eating. And we ended up, and I can't show you their other questionnaire because I didn't bring it up. I apologize. But being able to reverse all these markers and get them back into the green in all these areas by just reversing basically what they were putting on their plate, right? So fixing the diet, and of course there was some perspective stuff that we worked on, and obviously a lot of movement stuff that we worked on. But being able to just fix a couple variables got this person right where they needed to be. All the while, they felt like they were dying and aging rapidly, and their doctor told them they were just fine. This is why this is why we are where we're at. It's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. So I hope you found some value in that, you guys. And for me, it's really all about being a resource for you and spreading the truth about health, right? We're like, think about red pilling on health. That's what I'm here to do. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you, if this is something that speaks to you, and if this type of health appraisal questionnaire resonates with you, right? If this is something that's like, boy, I recognize a lot of issues in a lot of different areas, and you're not kind of sure, and you're kind of not sure what we're about, go to my website, biohackingtruth.com/guide. Download that guide. In that guide is my 5 pillars of health. You can follow that guide. There's practical exercises in there for you. There's videos, tutorial videos to walk you through it. There's no charge for this. I'd only ask that you join our email list, subscriber list. And from there, really, you can go down and I recommend that everybody just goes through and gives each little section and each little exercise its due diligence. And from there, you can really figure out, where it is that where you have the most opportunity to improve. Generally, it's in the area that where the exercises are really tough for you, like meditation and breath work and things like that. But download that guide that gives you an idea of what we're about, how we work with our clients. And then from there, if you're interested, give us a call. Like, reach out to us. You can email me, jerry@biohackingtruth.com. I'll leave my Calendly link in the description to this video. So you could literally just click on that link and book a call right with me. We'll source what's going on with you. We've got comprehensive questionnaires. This is just one example. And we can do everything through Zoom. If you're in the Missoula, Montana area, we can meet in person. We can do it that way. But there's no reason to be one of these statistics. Ask yourself, be honest. What trajectory am I on? Am I the 1 in 10 that's going to get diabetes? Am I the 1 in 3 that's pre-diabetic? Am I one of the 1 in 4 that's going to succumb to heart disease? Take a look at your family history. That tells you a lot. All right, guys. And if you think you're on the trajectory to be one of these statistics, and you don't want to be, and you're not sure how to get out of that zone, that's why I'm here. This is my life's mission. This is why I was put on this planet. So be happy and honored to help you get there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you sticking it through to the very end. Give this a like, give it a share, give it to anyone that you think could benefit from it. And until next time, peace, much love, and live well.